Salutations!
Sup, my doggies?
Is a hot dog a sandwich? Now, first of all, before we get into the debate that occurred on the internet, do you want to express what you think about this issue?
I'll be honest, I really don't care. Specifically about the hot dog one.
Okay.
I'd say it's bordering on taco because the bread pieces are not separate. I could see both sides. We'll see. I might just take a stance for shits and giggles.
We'll start with our first method in this episode, which is
great.
the cube rule of food identification. They sort of were building off of was the sandwich alignment chart. This is kind of like a D&D alignment chart. It separates people into different groups based on their purity or rebelliousness in terms of the structure of the sandwich versus the ingredients that can be inside of a sandwich. Right? It's like, oh, yeah. I'm a hardline traditionist. Well, I'm a true neutral. I'm a radical sandwich anarchist.
That's me.
And
you know what?
You're a radical sandwich anarchist.
Yeah, if it has carbs and there's something in the middle, you know what? Sure.
So a Pop-Tart is a sandwich?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Why not? Who am I to say who is crazy and carby enough with enough stuff in the middle to be a sandwich?
The cube rule of food identifies dishes based on the location of structural starch. For example, just one layer of starch on the bottom, that's toast. 2 pieces like that, that's sandwich. 3 pieces, that's taco.
Now hold up.
And then sushi, soup salad, and then a calzone. And there are some common examples of toast. Here we have pizza, which is a flat piece of bread with cheese and toppings on top. That's toast. Nigiri sushi. Also, the rice here is considered to be structural starch, so that's toast. And then also the pie.
But pie has 2 sides.
This is the cube rule.
Oh, you're
Illuminati.
not.
Okay.
Oh,
This is their organization.
So you don't identify with the cube rule? I'm just ruling this out now for when we inevitably debate. You are not a cube rulist.
I'm not a cube rule purist by any means.
Y'all heard it here first.
And
all right.
I think this is just one way, and I will present. I'm a fan of another theory, but that's going to be in part 2. I'll reveal.
Can't wait to shoot it down.
Which theory I am a fan of. I don't think you'll be able to shoot it down. That's the thing. So
we'll see about that.
You'll have to watch part 2 for that. And now we have a sandwich.
Oh, there's the flaw right there.
What's the flaw?
Toast in sandwich is still toast. Stupid.
Taco. This is where you would be initially correct in saying a hot dog is a taco.
Yeah.
Because it's
big
3.
Brain. I don't know about 3. It's kind of more like a V.
And then more popular examples of sushi. So anything that's wrapped is a sushi.
I hate this rule. This is stupid.
A quiche, or a soup, or anything that's contained inside of a bread bowl, that would be a quiche. And then lastly, we have calzone, which is fully enveloped in...
I'm disturbed.
Which is fully enveloped in structural starch. So corn dog, that's actually a calzone. Burrito, that's actually a calzone.
No, it's not.
Why is that?
You know what a calzone is? Panzerotti.
I would challenge you to explain to me how that calzone is different from a burrito. Because a burrito is also cooked foods inside of that.
Well, if that's the case, then you're just saying that the burrito is a calzone and a calzone is a burrito.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
That's what we're doing.
I mean, but burritos you're rolling.
Trust me.
I know that you know how to make a calzone because we have. I know that you know. You know what you do? Fold.
Yeah, but if you fold it, just rolling and folding, if it creates the same end product, it's the same thing. So
sushi is also a calzone because you roll it into a burrito.
No, because sushi has open ends. So it's not all 6 sides. It's 4 sides.
I get it. I get it. I just still think it's stupid.
Okay. Don't worry.
Who created this?
It gets even crazier.
Okay.
Salads, which have no structural starch. In this case, steak is considered a salad. Mashed potatoes.
If I see whoever made this, it's on site. Okay.
Cake.
On site.
So your Big Mac is actually cake. Lasagna is a cake. How do you feel about your traditional Italian lasagna being classified as a cake?
I mean, it do be sweet and a very nice treat, but like, I just think this is entirely unnecessary and kind of stupid.
Really?
Of a way to classify, why did we have to name these foods after different foods? I think if they had different names that weren't calling an entirely separate food a different food, I'd be fine with it.
We did all this to answer the question, is a hot dog a sandwich?
I know, but a sandwich is a classification. There's different types of sandwiches. A cake is a cake. There's different types of cake, but sandwiches, you could put lots of variations in between sandwiches and
Why
still
exactly
have a sandwich.
Is a cake a cake? There are many variations of cake too.
Well, it's
if
a
you
dessert.
were to say, I'm playing devil's advocate right now.
Always
if you were to
does.
say, if you were to say, if you were a true rebel,
And I am.
an ingredient and structure rebel, which you have previously identified to be, if you applied that to cake, you would see that lasagna is actually a cake.
Yeah, I see
It doesn't need to
see
be
it in the definition.
sweet. It doesn't need to be creamy. It doesn't have to have fruits or chocolate in it to be a cake. A lasagna can be a cake.
I
So can a Big
understand
Mac.
that, and I can feel that way and still think it's stupid.
So you think your own beliefs are stupid?
Yeah.
So you think you're stupid?
No, I think you're stupid for making me do this. I think I am an anarchist because I'm a who gives a shittest.
It's
That's
great
why I'm
that
saying,
it's great that you're
let's
adopting
go.
this attitude right now because we have another whole episode of this to make.
Great.
And there's more. There's more. Nachos.
Okay, but
Where
see,
the
that
starch,
I see.
the starch is inside. And salad with croutons would actually turn into nachos.
Okay, no, because, okay.
Now,
For the salad one, it just said that the carbs didn't have to be part of structural integrity. So having croutons just thrown in willy-nilly, and you just went, oh, of some croutons.
just Patrick.
It doesn't change anything whether it's nachos or salad.
Now, here is where we switch from talking about the cube rule for all of the good things that it does, and now we're going to switch to some critiques, some of the things that are wrong.
I don't think it did
About
anything
cube rule.
good.
First of all,
Throw it
cube
out.
rule has many unintuitive inclusions, but it also has unintuitive exclusions.
Oh, absolutely,
Normally,
it
when we're
does.
classifying things, right, you can accept unintuitive inclusions or unintuitive exclusions, but you can't have both, or else then your categories are dumb.
And that's what I've been saying. See, I'm smart, and I don't care for this narrative that I'm not. All right?
That narrative has not been built.
This is what you've been trying to do literally forever.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Since when?
Since you decided to play devil's advocate and say that I think my own beliefs are stupid.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah.
well, so since 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Well, that was...
No, but also since like 4 years ago. His life goal is to try and make...
Whoa! whoa. Hold on here. That's not why we made this channel, okay? That's not what we're doing here. The second thing is that when foods are cut, they turn into different things. So a pie that is whole,
Yeah.
once you cut a slice out of it, it turns into a taco. Now that I also feel like is rather unintuitive, not a great...
Dumb.
Yeah?
It's dumb.
And then lastly is the idea of structural starch. It's important to think about what is structural
And
starch?
that's what I've been saying about
What does that actually mean?
croutons.
Is a crouton, does that count as structural, or is that just another ingredient, just like a salad leaf?
No, that's like an ingredient because it doesn't do anything to hold it together.
Okay.
Like the structure of everything else was like, oh, it's the carbs part.
So
the
if-
starch keeps it together.
So if you have fried rice, is that rice structural starch?
I would say no,
Why?
because it's like the croutons. It's, with everything else. When you do
No,
that,
but
it's like everything else is like,
The rice is the base on which
Well-
all other things
Well, here's
are
the thing.
thrown into.
Okay, but here's the thing. Is a hill a structure, or is the hill just of a bunch of dirt? And that's what I'm saying. Someone quote me and cite me on that.
Well, sure.
So I'm just saying it's a matter of perspective of what is considered structural and what is not.
So why can't small things be structural?
Well, it can be if it's holding something up.
So if we go back to our toast example of the nigiri sushi, if the rice is sticky and it's stuck together, it becomes structural starch.
Put it this way.
But then the rice isn't always sticky.
If you use your hands and you pick up that nigiri, it's staying in your hand. Okay? It's staying whole. If you pick up like something that's been it's gonna slip through your fingers.
If you pick up If you
Yeah.
if you pick up rice,
Yeah.
right, and hold it in your hand,
Yeah.
it won't fall. It's sticky enough to stay together.
Well, yeah, but it's depending
rice-
how much you stuck that bitch together.
So you're saying that now, in order to make cube rule make sense, and as a defender of cube rule, which you're acting as now,
No, I'm
You're
a defender
saying-
of what I'm trying to define structure. Is what I'm trying to do.
you're saying that the structure is dependent on how well it clumps together. So how exactly, at what point exactly does it become structural?
When it takes
I can-
force to make it fall.
I can rip apart. Well, you're using the force with your previous example of the rice falling through. It's the force of gravity.
Yeah, exactly. If gravity is enough to pull it down, it's not structural.
If you brought the fried rice
I need
up
you
to the
to go to an
International Space
architect
Station,
and say
it would all
that.
stick together.
What?
If you brought fried rice up to the International Space Station, it would stick together.
Oh, I'm sorry. At what point were we having a date in space for this to be real?
But I'm just
Dang,
saying,
you're really
like,
giving me the moon and everything.
if you're
else.
saying it's a force, gravity is also a force.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, the fried rice would be structural starch.
Yeah, in space, and we're on. Last time I checked, we're on Earth, my guy.
But on Earth, gravity is a force. And you just said that it's a force that needs to be pulling apart. So how is gravity different than me pulling apart a taco or a tortilla or a piece of bread with my hands? How is that different?
Because it's naturally occurring.
It's naturally occurring.
It's naturally occurring, and you don't have to go, I'm gonna break this taco in two. Gah! Like, gravity's just going, come to me.
So Jeff,
Come down to me. Everything come down to me. So if you pick something up and it falls through, that's gravity going, yum, yum, yum. Give me some. Yum, 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 yum. But you holding a hot dog, it's not going to fall apart. Because, hey, guess what? Like houses, they are structurally sound, so gravity can't pull them down. But if the Hulk came by and went, duh, yeah,
if you're holding
breaking.
a sandwich and the hot dog fell out because of gravity,
Well, that's
or
not
the hot dog
That's not the
fell out of
starch
the-
structural part failing. That's you being a dum-dum.
all right. Well, I think that's you've heard enough of us talking about cube rule. You can make up your own mind. You can see if you agree with Jess's wild definitions of starch.
I don't think
structural
that's wild.
starch, or
Look,
the more
I
balanced approach, balanced and logical reasoning approach that I'm taking.
Wow.
And I will now. So now that this wraps it up.
No,
part
because
one.
I have one more thing to say. I need a moment to defend myself because someone's trying to drag me through the mud when I shouldn't be. Okay? What I'm trying to say is all of these things are dependent on where the carbs, where the starch is. And I'm saying if that starch crumbles on its own, it is not structural. If you're building a house upon some sand, what's that sand gonna do? Crumble. But if you're building your house upon some concrete, which we all know you're very fond of, and I'm sure you're going to do a video on concrete at some point, because he watches videos about concrete for fun. Hey, guess what? That house ain't moving.
Well,
guess what? Structure.
if you put enough structure on concrete, it'll crack.
Yeah.
Just like if you put enough force
if I
on
sat
dirt,
on
it would
your
crack.
sandwich, it's also gonna crack. If I added so much meat to a taco that it cracks, yeah, bitch, it's gonna crack. Your arguments are dumb. That's the end of part 1. Everyone go to part 2 where I continue to just win.
Part 2, I will present my preferred food classification, and you'll see it there. All right.
Great. Live, laugh,
Live, laugh, love.